this business 4.5 years ago. It's almost been 5 years since I found the business. And it was January of 2013. I was modeling at a bridal expo. They had these little fashion shows, so I was modeling wedding dresses. They had a few fashion shows through the whole day, and so I was there in between walking through the expo, just looking at some of the booths. And if you've ever been to a bridal expo, you know it's got like vendors for event centers. It has cake decorators. It has photographers. Usually health and fitness and beauty products are there. And so I was just going around. I wasn't engaged or anything like that, but who doesn't love free stuff, right? So I went and I pretty much entered every single free thing that I possibly could. And I just remember, I had never heard of the wraps before. And so, when they're like, oh yeah, you can enter to win a free wrap, I was like, cool, like whatever. I didn't really know what it did or anything like that, but I entered to win and nothing happened. About a week later, I did, however, get a phone call from one of the ladies that was running the booth. And she said, hey, so I just wanted to call and let you know that you didn't win first place, but you actually won our second place prize. You won $5 off a wrap. So instead of charging me $25, she only charged me $20 to try a wrap. So, and then I was like, well, what is it? Like, how does this work? What's this supposed to do? What's the point? And so she pretty much told me, if you put this wrap on anywhere you want for 45 minutes, it's pretty much going to make you skinnier. And so, backstory, when I found the wrap, I was 19 years old. I was already a size 4, didn't need the wrap by any means, but I was self-conscious enough that I wanted it. And so I met with her and I bought a wrap for $20, and I didn't even have plastic wrap. I used an ace bandage to hold it in place. She didn't tell me not to eat when I had it on, so I was drinking tons of water, but I was also eating a bunch of pretzels, which are not that healthy anyways. And so I took the wrap off after the 45 minutes, and I put my pictures side by side, and I could see the teeniest difference in the world. It was so small. I was like, okay, my measurements are the same, but I look a little bit smaller, so I guess that's cool. And, she just reassured me, like, okay, keep drinking water the next 3 days because you're going to keep getting better and better results if you drink your water. And so I was like, all right, cool, I'll do that. And so I did that. And by the end of the 3 days, I did not take pictures, which I wish I would have, obviously, but I measured and it was a huge difference. Like, to the point that, and I'm sure some of you women can relate to me, when you go to church and you're in one of your nice dresses, sometimes you just feel like you've got to like suck in the whole day to just look real good in that dress. And when I wrapped, I didn't have to suck in anymore. Like, that's how big of a difference it made for me. And so I immediately was so excited about the product. I wanted more for myself. I was like, cool, well, I'm going to wrap my arms, even though I didn't need it, obviously. I was like, I'm going to wrap all my arm fat. I'm going to wrap my legs, more of my stomach. I'm going to wrap my neck. Like, I was just so gung-ho about the wraps. I loved them. And if you've ever done the color personalities that we have in the company, they say that a yellow personality is somebody that like really likes helping people and cares about people, is really good for referrals. And when I first was like finding the wraps, that was me. I was so yellow. So I'm yellow and then red, but it's pretty even, but mostly I'm a little bit more yellow, but just barely. So depends on which one I want to be more of, pretty much. But so I had tried the wrap and loved it. And immediately I was like, oh my gosh, my mom needs this. My sisters need this. My friends need this. They're all going to love this. Like, I've got to share this with them. And so the lady that did the expo set up a party. And, from meeting with her and setting up my wrap appointment, I added her as a friend on Facebook, and she invited me to this party. It wasn't on Facebook, but she did like an invite on there. So as a reminder. Yeah. And she mentioned to me that if I brought 4 people with me to the party, that she would give me a free wrap. And I was like, like, I want more, And so because she gave me 5, it's funny. So I usually don't go into this much detail, but I think it's fun for you guys to get to know me like on a personal level when I very first got started, because this is the beginning of everything. So I was like, okay, done. Like, I'm going to bring 4 people because I want a free wrap. So the day she had that party was the day that my family had family pictures. So all of I was living with my mom still, but all of my sisters were in town. So I was like, hey, after family pictures, let's go to this party and get skinny wraps. And they're like, okay. And since the lady that I bought my wraps from sold me my first one for $20, I thought they were just $20. So we all show up with our $20 bill. Okay, we want some wraps. And so she's like, oh, well, they're actually $25, but since you didn't know, she just gave us all $20 wraps. But we still probably made her $200 to $300 in wrap cash just that one night. And I got a free wrap, obviously, but I still bought like 2 or 3 more. And I was just so excited about the wraps and just loved them. And so it was after the party, probably about a week or 2 later, she finally mentioned to me and she said, hey, so I know how much you love the wraps and I know how much you love sharing them with other people because of how awesome they are. So why don't you sign up to sell them and make money off of your family and friends instead of making me all this money? And I had never thought about it. It wasn't an option. I just wanted the wraps. And so when she mentioned that to me, I was like, oh, like, you can make money with this? Like, sure, like, why not? And I once, as I said, I was 19. I was a college student. I had to finish paying off my tuition. So by the time I joined, so I found the wraps, tried my first one sometime, I don't know when, but the expo was in January of 2013, and I didn't sign up as a distributor until the middle of March 2013. So it took me about 2 months to sign up. And from there, I was just so excited to share and help so many people get their wraps. So my first few weeks were a little rocky. I don't think I signed up a customer until 2 or 3 weeks in. I wasn't that person that signs up like all 4 and 5 minutes. That wasn't me. But what I knew is that I loved the wraps. I was really excited about them. And I knew, if I was a 19-year-old that didn't need it but was self-conscious enough to want to use it, that there was going to be so many other people just like me that just want a little bit of hope. And so I shared it on Facebook with people. I was messaging people that I thought might be interested in them. I was talking to people that I knew at my church about it that might be interested. And just from doing that, so I joined on March 14th. So I only had half of a month. And just that half of a month, I made about $44 in my commissions, which isn't that much, But when I started, I also got the mini booster kit. So we have options distributors to buy booster kits at any time, and it's pretty much just products in a bigger package deal that you can make more cash on. So if you have the opportunity to purchase one of those, I highly recommend it because it helped me propel my business. Anyone that I was talking to that wasn't ready to commit to signing up as a customer, I would say, oh, well, do you want to try one for $25 first? And they did. And so besides that $44 commission, that next month in April, plus selling all the wraps that I had from when I started, I made anywhere from like $500 to like $800 in that 1 month, just from selling wraps and signing up customers for wraps. Crazy. And so that's when I kind of knew, like, obviously that I could make money with this business. But I just remember some of the training that my upline had shared with me was that this business is residual, right? And so if you don't know what residual means, pretty much what it means is that you do the work one time and you're going to get paid for that work over and over and over and over and over again for infinity. But, I kind of had this, I didn't understand how that worked. And so once I made that first like $500 commission check plus then that $300 in wrap cash, I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm making $500 a month. I don't have to do anything. And I'm just going to keep making 500 over and over and over again. Right. That's how residual works. It didn't work that way. You know, I kept finding out like, oh, like my customers don't want to order wraps forever like me. Or some of them were just retail orders on my website. So they only purchased for the one time. And so gradually my paycheck went from that $500 a few months later. In August or September, it dropped clear down to like $50. And when I was looking at joining this business, living at home with my parents, they both, you know, took me aside individually and were like, hey, Jocelyn, like, I know you love these products, but we really don't think it's good for you to join a business like this because we know so many people that have tried a pyramid scheme like that and you never make your money back and they just don't work. You know, like they were just out of love trying to say like, hey, like, don't get your hopes up. You're going to lose money. Sorry, but we're warning you, but do your own thing. And so at first they were fine with it because they saw me, you know, making this wrap cash and stuff. But then when my paycheck dropped, plus I was still ordering like $100 and something worth of products every month to remain commission qualified. And because I was obsessed with everything, I remember my mom turned over to me one day in the office and she's like, Jocelyn, why are you still doing that? You're not making any money. And, you know, I just remember taking a step back and like really thinking about it, like, shoot, I'm proving her right. She thinks I can't make money in this business and I'm doing exactly what she said. I don't want that. And so I immediately decided to make the commitment that no matter what, I was never going to quit and that I was going to do whatever it took. And so I kept hearing everybody say, when you show up, you go up. But I was like, what does that actually mean? And I asked and they said, when you show up, you go up. That means that you need to show up to any wrap parties that are in your area. That means you show up to any trainings. That means you show up to any conference calls that corporate does. That means you show up to any Zooms. That means you show up to any one team, one missions, boot camps, conference. You know, when you show up, you go up. I didn't understand that, but I made the commitment that anything local that I could get to, I couldn't afford to fly to Florida, but anything local that I could get to, I was going to go to. And so with the help of my upline, we would drive 2.5 hours one way to get to a 1-2-1 mission. We live in a small town, so we would have to drive that far just to get into the biggest city in our area, which is Vegas. And so we would drive to a 1-2-1 mission and then drive back the same day. And same thing, if there was a training that was happening in Vegas, we would drive 2.5 hours one way, stay for the training, and then drive back that night. And it was at one of these trainings that I went to where I just remember everybody was going around the room telling what their goals were for that month. And everybody was so focused on the steps to success. They're like, I just want to do the steps to success so that I can make $500. And that was their goal. And I just remember thinking that when somebody first told me that all I had to do to make $500 every month was to just do the steps to success every month, I immediately tuned it out and I was like, okay, I can't sign distributors for my life. Like, that's way too hard. And it wasn't even an option for me. Like, I was like, I can't do that. It's hard. I mean, I can sign up customers, but distributors, like, how do I convince somebody to do this? You know, I couldn't figure it out. And so I just immediately like took it off the table. It wasn't an option. And at this training, I just remember saying like, oh, my goal, I just want to sign up loyal customers. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. And so I finally, you know, had this aha moment and just really paid attention to what was taught at the training, that, you know, you're never going to know if you never try. And I left that training. I don't know what I learned exactly, but I left with the confidence enough in myself that I told myself, I'm just going to shoot for the steps to success and just see what happens. And so since I came from an expo, that's all I knew how to do, expos and parties at first. So when after my upline and I left this training, we did an expo together. And at this expo, not at the expo, but following up with the people that I met at the expo. I signed up all of my customers for the Steps to Success, and I signed up 2 distributors, and I helped those 2 distributors get their customers from the expo as well. And then I still had 1 distributor left, and so I signed up my boyfriend, and then I just put the customers underneath him. So I completed my Steps to Success, and I'm not even kidding you, my next commission check was about $500, plus including those 3 fast start bonuses that I earned. So it blew me away that all I had to do to make $500 every month was just make sure that I was signing up 4 customers and then 3 distributors and getting them fast start qualified. So I was like, holy cow, it really is that simple. And I just had this aha moment where I just knew, like, okay, if I did the Steps to Success one time and I just made $500, what would happen if I did it again? Would I make another 500? So that was my goal. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it again the next month and see what happens. So from there, I'm in a small town. They don't do expos all the time. So I couldn't do an expo that next month. So I had to figure something else out. And for me, because I decided that when I show up, I go up, I was showing up and listening to conference calls and hopping on any online trainings that they had. We didn't have Zooms back then. I would have watched them if they did. But so as an example, I remember somebody posted in a team page that there was a girl, she was a double diamond, and she was doing her Steps to Success once a week on Instagram. And I was like, holy cow, I've got to learn how to use Instagram. And so I remember listening to this conference call where she explained everything that she did. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And so then that's what I started doing. And that's how I started completing my Steps to Success in the beginning. And it was so much more in my comfort zone. I mean, it was still out of my comfort zone, but it wasn't like, I didn't hate it, put it that way. I mean, I still love doing expos and parties, but they're not my favorite. I love social media. And so when I learned how to use Instagram, that was the key for me. I did my Steps to Success again that next month. And that was the month that I promoted to executive. And it took me 9 months to promote all the way to executive. And the thing that made the difference for me was I started focusing on the Steps to Success. So before I continue on with my story, I want to reiterate that if and only if you make the commitment to, number 1, never quit. Number 2, decide that you're going to show up to go up. And then number 3, commit to doing the Steps to Success once a month and just shoot for it every single month. Then that's all you need to be successful, those 3 things. And so 9 months to go executive, and then I just got it. I just knew what to do. Okay, I'm signing up customers and distributors, and that's how I make money. And so I started signing up more customers and distributors a little bit faster, and I had no clue what to do with my chart. I had no idea what I was doing. So I called my upline on the phone, and I was like, okay, I just signed up a distributor. I don't know what to do with them, but I want to go diamond. So she taught me to pull out a diamond chart, and she walked me through with the distributors that I already had, where to put people on the chart and then how to place them. And she didn't teach me how to place people like strategically. All she did was she taught me, like in eSuite, how to place people. And then she said, okay, now every single time you sign up a customer or distributor, I want you to call me and tell me, and I'm going to tell you where to place them, and then you just got to go do it. And I said, okay, done. So that's what I did to go diamond. I'd sign up a customer or distributor, I'd call her and I say, hey, where do I put this next customer? Hey, where do I put this next distributor? And she'd just say, oh, put them under here. Put them under this person. Help this person get their 4 customers. And eventually, as I was working towards diamond, it clicked and I got it, and I learned how to chart by myself. I didn't have to ask anymore. So by the time I had been in the business for 1 year, that was when I promoted to diamond, and my husband, who was my boyfriend, he was still my fiance at the time, so I'll just say my fiance, he promoted to emerald when I promoted to diamond. So we had 2 paychecks coming in, which was awesome. And then so I promoted to diamond in March, and then 2 months later after that, my husband and I got married, and he was so skeptical of this business. We had separate bank accounts before we got married, so he couldn't see the money I was making. And he pretty much told me, Jocelyn, that business ain't gonna pay the bills. You need to go get a real job. Like that's what he said.
Yeah,
and he probably said the word ain't. But he did not believe in this industry at all whatsoever. He thought the whole pyramid scheme thing too. And he was so adamant. Like he would come home from work when we first got married and be like, hey, so there's this eye doctor that needs a new receptionist and I want you to go apply there. Like he was just like, oh, he was rude. And so, it was hard. At first it was really hard. That first summer we were married, I was a workaholic on my phone on Instagram working because it was working so well. And I just remember, okay, two things. So the first thing was I asked for advice from my upline and I said, okay, so my husband's very unsupportive. This is what he said. What do I do? And they told me, you just keep working because in 90 days, I guarantee you're going to make more money than he is. And then the other thing they kind of said was, if you can get a comma in your paycheck consistently, then they're not going to care anymore. And that's the truth. Once we had combined bank accounts and he could see that comma paycheck from being a diamond come in, he was like, okay, whatever, like do your thing. And the second thing I want to mention that really helped with my marriage, with getting him more on board, but not on board with the business, but like on board with me, was the love languages. So if you want to like take your relationship to the next level, I highly recommend that you search 5 love languages. It's a book, there's a website, you can take a test and you can have your husband take the test, and it then tells you how you best feel loved and how your spouse best feels loved. So that first summer was really hard for my husband when we first got married because I didn't know that his love language was quality time. And I was giving my phone the quality time and not him. And so when we took these tests and I realized that, I then knew, okay, I can work so hard when he's gone. And then when he comes home from work, I've got to give him some quality time. And when I learned that, our relationship changed so much. It was so much happier. Then he saw the paychecks coming in when we had that joint bank account and he quit bugging me about it, even though he wasn't supportive still. Like he let me do my thing. Cool story though. At the end of that summer, I promoted to Double Diamond in August and he had promoted to Diamond in July. So, we went from like $3,000 to like $6,000 to $8,000 by the end of the summer. So then he was like, yeah, of course I'm not going to bug her anymore, And then by the end of that year, my husband also promoted to Double Diamond. So 2 Double Diamond paychecks. I think our biggest check together in December was like about $10,000 total. And so isn't that crazy? January, I was an executive and my paycheck was $400. And by the end of the year, we were making $10,000. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. How did it go super fast? Because I think that's what we compare.
Most people don't. And that's, that like the people that go really fast in the business, those are the anomalies. Those are the people that have big networks already. And those are the people that got over themselves already. But some of us have to take time to get over ourselves, or we have to take time to make new friends. We've got to take time to figure out, man, how am I good at this business? Am I good on social media? Am I good at expos? Am I good at in person? Am I good at parties? We've got to figure this stuff out. Some people just know and they just do it, but I didn't know. So then this is a cool story. January of 2015, we were both Double Diamonds, and this was the month that we went to our very first conference. They used to have it in January, which I wish it was still in January, but that's okay. So we went to conference, and my husband told me after the fact, he's like, I really didn't want to go, but if I just kind of looked at it like a vacation. I didn't want to go to a conference center filled with a bunch of crazy people, but I went anyways. So I remember, that very first night they have the top 100 income earners walk across the stage, And I just remember thinking like, man, like I really want to be there, but I feel like it's going to take me forever to get there. And yeah, I just thought it was going to take me forever to get there. And then the things that were said at conference like changed everything. That very first night at conference, I was exhausted. I was about halfway asleep. And my husband rolls over in the hotel room and he's like, Jocelyn, I can't sleep. Like, I am so excited about this business. I just want to do this business full time with you. I want to quit my job. I want to cut back on my hours at school. Like, let's do this business together. And so that's what changed my husband from being non-supportive to supportive, was getting him to conference so that he could see the vision of the company, so that he could see real people making real big amounts of money, and realizing that, holy cow, like we can totally do this. And so I can't tell you what it is about conference that changes everything. But like, just to give you the numbers so that I want this to truly motivate you, and I want this to inspire you, because this is what can happen for you. So my husband and I went from both double diamonds, making about $10,000 a month. The next month I promoted to triple diamond. The next month I promoted to presidential diamond, and my husband promoted to triple diamond. And we went from about 10,000 to about 36,000 in 2 months. It blew my mind. I never thought I'd ever make that much money in my whole life. And it showed me the possibilities that anybody really can do this business and make a lot of money, but you've got to be willing to get out of your comfort zone and make the commitment to never quit, to show up, because when you show up, you go up, and then to focus on the steps to success. So, and then fast forward another year, we promoted to ambassador and presidential. So, and now we've been in the business for 4.5 years. And this year we have officially made over $1 million with the business. So, it's been crazy, and I'm only 23. Like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is. Because I joined when I was 19 too, and so I immediately, because Jessica Sindler is my enroller, she's on here, and she was like, this girl named Jocelyn, she joined when she was 19. You can do this too. And so I was like, oh, okay. Because when you join at 19, you're just like, everybody's a mom, and they all, are moms, and they do this business and all this kind of stuff, and then you're like, look at you and you're like, oh my gosh, like you can still do it. So we have like not a huge amount, but we have a few questions that we put together, if you don't mind answering for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is, what are your top income producing activities?
All right, so since I still primarily work on social media, my top income producing activities is adding new people, messaging people, posting, and following up. Done. Like, literally, if you do those 4 things on social media consistently, like as in every single day, then you'll be successful on social media. As far as off of social media, it's pretty much the same thing. You add people into your friends list, as in become friends with them. You talk to those people. You follow up with those people. It's the same thing. Or, blitzing. That's another way. One thing I love doing, though, is getting anyone that I meet in person on social media. So here's a fun little example. Just today, my husband's brother, so my brother-in-law, came home from a 2-year mission. He was gone for 2 years serving a church mission. And so we went and picked him up from the airport, and one of his friends was there. And we went to breakfast afterwards, and his friend was just asking me questions like, hey, so what do you guys do for a career, And we're like, oh, have you ever heard of It Works? And he's like, I think so. Is that like that rap thing? And he had no clue how they worked or anything. So when I showed him a Blitz card, he was mind blown. I'm not even kidding you. And this is this 21-year-old fit guy, and he was so interested. And so it just goes to show, you never know who's going to be interested, but you're not going to know unless you ask. So, income producing activities, we get paid to sign up customers and distributors. So if you're talking to people about becoming customers and distributors, you're going to make money. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But I also want to mention that once you sign up customers and distributors, we get paid when they stay as customers and distributors. So make sure that one of those income producing activities that you're doing is to follow up with those customers and to reach out to those distributors, because that's the lifeblood of your business, is customers and distributors.
Yeah, that actually goes with one of our questions that we have. I'll go ahead and ask you that. So our thing is retaining customers. So we know it's so huge, but what is something like, how are you retaining these customers after the 3 months, the 90 days that they decided to commit to?
All right. So I love using this example because it's the best one I've got. One of my very first 4 loyal customers, her name was Rebecca, and she's a girl that I knew from church. She was one of the girls that was skeptical to join for 4 wraps, because she's like, what if they don't work on me? What if I don't like them? So she bought a wrap for $25 first. And once she tried that first wrap, she had awesome results, and she signed up as a loyal customer for the wraps. Then after 3 months, she stopped ordering, because go figure, she probably doesn't need a wrap every single month, right? Because the results last pretty long time if you're consistent with your lifestyle. So she stopped ordering, and about 2 years later, she signed up as a distributor, and now she's a diamond on my team, and I make residual income on her every single month. Isn't that cool? Because I sold her 1 wrap and then signed her up as a customer. So my best advice when it comes to keeping loyal customers on is ask them once they've done 3 months. Actually, let me pull up. I just asked one of my loyal customers like yesterday or the day before. It was yesterday. She wanted to turn off her auto shipment because it has been 3 months. And this is what I said. If you have already ordered for at least 3 months, you should be able to turn your auto shipment off, no problem. Also, I ask all of my customers this: would you be interested in possibly signing up as a distributor to make extra money to share the products? And she said yes. Done. I just got a new potential distributor. And so I know that if I can get her to sign up as a distributor, because she already loved the products, she, just like me when I first started, she's going to have all these people in her mind that are like, oh, they need that, they need that, they need that. Done. And now instead of just one loyal customer ordering for maybe 3 more months, she's going to bring in new loyal customers consistently. So that's my favorite loyal customer retention tip. The next one is realize that, think about the products that we have. Somebody is not probably going to order wraps every single month for the rest of their lives, but if you can get them to try like greens, or maybe even the shake, or the keto coffee, or Confianza, Fat Fighters, things like that, those are going to be the products that they're going to fall in love with because of the way they make them feel, and that's going to get them to order longer. So any products that make people feel real good, those are really good ones to suggest. And the way that I love doing that, so as an example, if I had somebody that ordered wraps for 3 months and they want to turn off their auto shipment, I'm going to ask them something like this: hey, Audrey, I know you just finished ordering some wraps, but I'm wondering if you would be interested in doing another 90-day challenge for me where you test out our brand new chocolate greens. It would only be $33 a month, and just for doing these 3 extra months, I'm going to give you $50 shopping spree at the end for any product that you want for free. Would you be interested? Done.
Yes.
And the way that works is perks points. So if you don't know about our loyal customer program perk points, go in your eSuite documents and you can read all about it. And you'll notice in those rules for the loyal customer program, after they order for 6 months in a row, they get $50 for free. And then if they keep ordering after that, after 12 months, they get $150 for free. So I really like, right before they're about to be done, I'll ask them, hey, would you be willing to do 3 more months on this product? I usually like to pick a little bit of a cheaper product for them, just so that it's more budget friendly, so that it doesn't bug them as much, because I feel like sometimes that's the reason why, is they can't afford it. So ask them, would you be willing to do a 90-day challenge for our fat finders. And if you do, I'll give you $50 for free product. So at the end, you can get a free package of wraps. I mean, I would do it, So I think that's really good too. I think the biggest thing though is loyal customers will not keep ordering from you if you do not talk to them. Like why would I order from you if you don't talk to me, right? So make sure that you're talking to your customers.
Yeah, I think that's huge. We do like the 2-day, 2-week, and then every month, like make sure they get it in and that kind of, well, in Georgia, like it ships so fast here. We get it in like 3 to 5 business days. So I always make sure to, check in with those kind of things. And just, I notice if I miss a month of not checking up with my loyal customers, then it's just like next month, then it's like, it goes downhill if you just skip 1 month of not checking in with them. So it's
right.
important. Okay, so next question. On average, how many hours a day do you think you work your business, like now, and then also when you're promoting, like when you're promoting for Triple Impress?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's definitely changed, and I think the reason why is because I've learned how to work smarter instead of harder. And I mean, social media is way different than it was when I first started working it anyways. So I'm going to kind of give you an idea of my schedule, and this will really show you the reason why I was working so much. So I was a full-time college student, newly married, and my husband and I had to be up by 6 a.m. because I had to get ready to go to school by 8 o'clock, and he had to go to PT for the military, for the ROTC. And so I was up by 6 a.m. every single day, and I'd go to school at 8, and I was pretty much at school until like 3 or 4, and then from there I would either have like a nanny job, or I'd be able to work my business, or I'd go home and do homework. And then when my husband got home from his work after school, it's like 6 to 7 o'clock, I'd hang out with him a little bit, and then I'd work my business a little bit more until I went to bed at midnight. And that was pretty much our day, like every single day. I mean, weekends were probably a little different, but I had to wake up at 6 a.m. every single weekday, no matter what, and I had to go to bed by midnight to get enough sleep. So I was posting from 6 a.m. until midnight. I was adding new people from 6 a.m. until midnight, anytime I had free time. So, I mean, it wasn't 24/7, obviously. Like, I couldn't sit on my phone all day. I still had to shower. I still had to do my makeup. I still had to drive to school. I still had to pay somewhat attention in class. And so I was on my phone when I could be, or if the class was boring, or if I already knew the material or whatever it was, then I'd make a post, or I'd be adding new people, or I'd be messaging people, or I'd be following up. And I think it's just being very deliberate with the time that you have, and that's the beauty of working from this. You carry this with you everywhere you go. And if you ever have a free minute that you don't absolutely need 100% of your attention, you can be on this. So so that's pretty much like that's what my schedule was pretty much when I went from like diamond to double. And I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing when I went from double to presidential as well. I think I had school that semester. Yeah. Fun fact, I was actually playing mini golf when I went presidential. Yeah. Anyways, I was on my phone working. I wasn't really playing. But you can do it anywhere. That's the point. Then, all of a sudden, Taylor and I were making good money, and I didn't have to have any other jobs. I didn't have to go to school after that, really. And so I was then able to work the business throughout the day as I wanted, but still do whatever I wanted at the same time. And so it's going to look a little differently now because I have the freedom of time. However, I will say, as an ambassador, it is still my goal to be very intentional about talking to people every single day about the products in the business. And so ideally, my goal is to put in 3 to 5 good hours of work every single day. So, maybe that's 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 30 minutes while my kid's in her gymnastic class. I don't have a kid, but just giving you examples, or the hour before I go to bed, the hour after I wake up, or, working the hour I'm at the gym, sitting on the elliptical or something, just messaging away. I just find time, and I'm very deliberate that I'm, at least working 3 to 5 hours a day. So, but I'm going to mention also that the reason why I can take a step back and not work as many hours as I did in the beginning is because I have that residual income from all the hard work I've done. But if you want part-time income, work the business part-time. If you want full-time income, work the business full-time. I was going to say one more thing too. If you work the business like a hobby, you're going to make hobby money. But if you work the business like it's a business, you're going to make business like good money. And that's kind of the key. One thing that, if you guys ever listen to Carrie Young on YouTube, she has a really good YouTube video called like Coin Pusher versus Entrepreneur. And I don't know if you've seen this one, but she talks about the difference between somebody that works a job from 9 to 5 versus somebody that does a business like this. And the difference is a coin pusher is somebody that knows, okay, if I go to work for 9 hours, I'm going to get paid. So I work and then I get paid. I work and then I get paid. I work and then I get paid. It's the same thing. It's the same every single time. I work, I get paid. I work, I get paid. If you go to work, you're going to get paid, right? That's how jobs work, right? So the difference between that coin pusher versus an entrepreneur is that in the beginning, an entrepreneur is going to work a lot more than they are getting paid, but it's going to switch. So at first, with this business, you're going to work, get paid, 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 get paid, work, get paid, get paid, get paid, work, get paid, get paid, get paid, get paid, work, get paid, get paid, get paid, get paid, get paid. Hopefully you get the idea. I don't want to be a corn pusher where I have to work to get paid. So that's the difference with this business, is that if you can, it's like a plane taking off. If you know anything about plane science, I don't know the word for it. Aerospace engineer or whatever. In order for a plane to take off of the ground, it has to be 100% pushing all the way down on the gas. And once it gets off the ground and gets to that cruising altitude, they take their foot off the gas, and they're just, they take their foot off the throttle, the momentum, and they don't have to work as hard to stay at that level. And it's the same thing with this business. You're going to have to work so hard and put 100% of your effort on that gas pedal to get it off the ground. But once you're off the ground, you can take a little step back and stay up there. So there's a cool analogy for you.
That's good. I like that one. Okay, so this one sort of goes with that, just real quick. So you went from being so busy, and a lot of this, I know us leaders have done this, is being so busy, school, work, all this kind of stuff, to you completely owning all of your time. So how, especially when you switched over in the beginning, how did you start managing and not go crazy? Because you're like, I have all this freedom of time, I can do anything but, work my business when I need to be working it.
You've got to set a schedule. And honestly, in the scriptures, in so many different ways, they talk about how important it is to have a good work ethic, to have integrity, and, not to idle away our time, right? It says that. And so after reading those types of scriptures, I just totally think to myself, all right, so ideally, our goal is to become as close to God as we can. We want to become like Jesus Christ, and we've got to think, all right, if I was like him, would I be wasting my time doing nothing? No, our goal is to help people. if he was here on this earth right now, he would be helping people every single chance he got. And we are just so lucky that the way we get paid is by helping people. Win-win. So you've got to set the priorities. I mean, honestly, it's about priorities, and it's about setting schedules. And I will tell you, I've had people on my team that, once they started making good income, like double diamond money, $2,000 to $6,000 a month, they came home from their job and then they got lazy because they're like, cool, I can do whatever I want. And so they started doing whatever they wanted, and they didn't want to work, and they stopped working. And guess what? Just like when I first started my business, that $500 a month I had kind of went down to $50. So don't let that happen. You've got to keep your foot on that throttle until you're cruising altitude. And I promise you, even as an ambassador, I still do not feel like I'm at that cruising altitude, because there is so much more room for growth in this company.
Oh, that was so good. Scribbling my notes over here. Oh, okay.
Good.
So how do you seal the deal? This is really good for especially new people that are having this problem. I think we all do in the beginning. How do you seal the deal with loyal customers and distributors?
All right. So I'm going to give you a different perspective when it comes to sealing the deal. Hold on. Let me go to my viewer thing so I can see everybody on here. Okay, so for those of you that have your videos, please give me a thumbs up if you would be embarrassed to tell somebody that you didn't have enough money to buy something. Give me a thumbs up if you would be embarrassed to tell somebody that. All right, pretty much 100%. 100% of us would be embarrassed to tell somebody that we didn't have enough money or that we couldn't afford something. So if you have somebody that doesn't respond to you, it's not that they're not interested. It's because they're embarrassed. They don't want to say, I really suck at budgeting and I spent all my money this paycheck on crap. So sorry, I can't join you. Like, they're not going to say that. So realize that when you're following up with people, if they don't respond. Silence does not mean no. Silence just means that they're probably embarrassed and they're still thinking about it. Okay, so there's a good tidbit. So that means that you just keep following up with them, because if you follow up at the right time, maybe they haven't spent their paycheck yet. So that's another one. If you follow up like Thursday night before they get paid from their job, then they can think about it more. Or even Friday, the day they get paid, then they're ready to buy, hopefully. Excuse me. All right. So another follow-up tip that I love is assume a sale when it comes to sealing the deal. So if I'm talking to somebody maybe about like a weight loss product, or maybe the hair, skin, nails, like a product, and they seem like, I tell them the price and they're like, okay, cool. Like, that sounds awesome. Like, I'd love to try the product, whatever. I will completely assume the sale and I'll say, like, okay, great. Do you want me to help you to put in the order, or do you want me to walk you through it on my website? I don't ask them when they want to order. I just say, okay, do you want me to help you, or do you want me to help you, do you want me to help you put the order in, or do you want me to walk you through it on the website? That's pretty much what I ask. And from there, then I can take the conversation wherever they want. If they don't end up ordering that night, then the next day I just message them. And this is a really good tip that I love too. Anytime somebody said they were going to sign up and they don't, or they don't respond when they said they were going to sign up that day, I will message them the next day and I will take the blame, even if it's not my fault, even if it's them that didn't respond to me. I will take the blame and I'll say, like, hey, Audrey, I'm so sorry. I forgot to help you get started yesterday, but I am at my computer right now putting in orders. Can I put yours in right now?
Oh, that's good.
Like, I mean, it's not my fault, but I'll say, hey, I'm so sorry. I'd love to help you now. And I'm in my computer right now. Can I help put your order in? Let's see. Another really good seal the deal tip is sometimes people are not sold yet. And the way to get them sold is to help them see the value in what they're about to purchase. So if it's about a product, that's when you really want to share personal testimonials. Or if it's about the business, that's where you really want to help them see what the business can do for them. if you can legitimately show somebody that they're going to have all of the love and support and help from your team, that you are so pumped and believe in them that they can make money with this business. If you can show, like, ask them, like, hey, how much money would you want to make for your family? Like, what would you want to buy? Ask them these things and pour that confidence into them. Like, I know you can make an extra $500 by Christmas, and then you can get your kid that play set. Be so specific with them with things like that, and just pour that love and confidence and that belief that you have in them, and that will help seal the deal. Same thing with the products. Let's say somebody is wanting to lose weight. That's where you can say, girl, like, I have lost this much weight with these products. Like, they have really helped me and been a huge blessing. Or maybe you're brand new and you don't have a story yet. You can share other people's story. Like, oh, my girl Audrey, she's lost this much weight with this product. Like, I know you're going to love it. Like, this product has been so life-changing for so many people, and I know it's going to help you with that weight loss. Pour that confidence and that belief that you have in them over it, and that's going to help make them so excited. And if they can catch a glimpse of the belief that you have in them, they'll sign up.
Oh, that's all so good. Yeah, I know that when I tell my loyal customers that, especially with weight loss, I'm like, I'm going to hold your hand, I'm going to be there for you, and I'm going to check in, because, we can say that we're going to order the triple threat, and then it comes in and it sits on your counter for 2 weeks and you don't do it. So that's another thing with checking in, is they'll, keep on putting it off. And then when they need to order the next month, if they're not using their products, they're not going to order the same products again. Okay. So, let's see. Okay, so how do you manage all of your social media accounts? We know that you have a couple of Instagram ones, and then you have Facebook. I don't know. I think you have Snapchat, but I don't really know if you work Snapchat. I know that's for a lot of people.
Yeah, Snapchat for me, I hate it, so I don't work it. I mean, I'm trying to get better at it, and I'm trying to be consistent with Instagram stories, but it hasn't been a priority yet, so I just need to commit to it. But anyways, yeah, so I don't use Instagram or Facebook stories or Snapchat a ton. I mean, hey, I've signed up a customer from Snapchat, and I've signed up customers from Instagram stories, but I haven't committed and made it a priority to be consistent with yet. However, with Facebook and Instagram, it is so simple for me. My goal is to post 3 to 6 times a day about the products or the business. So I can post as much as I want all day, but I want at least 3 to 6 posts about the products or business. So typically I don't post a ton non-networks posts on Instagram, just because I don't know, I'm lame like that. I mostly use Instagram to message people that way. But Facebook, I feel like, is a lot more personable, so you need to add those personal touches in any chance you can. Let's see. But so pretty much the reason why I have multiple Instagram accounts, I get asked the time, I'll just break it down simply. 2 years ago at conference, our very first conference, I remember Mark Pentecost, he said, all right, I want to see who's ready to double their efforts. And when he said double my efforts, this was my logic. I thought, okay, I've got one Instagram account right now, and I can only follow, this many amount of people every single day, and I can only talk to this many amount of people on this one account every single day, because it'll block you if you follow too many people. It'll block you if you message too many people on Instagram. So I thought, all right, so if I want to double my efforts, what if I just had another Instagram account? Then I could follow twice the amount of people. I could message twice the amount of people, and I'd be getting twice the amount of potentials. So I was like, done, sold. I'm going to just post to 2 Instagram accounts and add different people on both of them. And that's what I did. And so, I don't know. I was crazy. And then I was like, well, I already have 2. I might as well have 3. And then I was like, well, I already have 3. I might as well have 4. And then I was like, well, why not 5? So I have 5 Instagram accounts, and I post the exact same on all of them. So, and it's funny because every once in a while I get a message from somebody like, oh my gosh, this person's pretending to be you. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. But, and it's really there's no logic behind it besides the fact that I can add different people on every one of those accounts. So I have different followers on all 5 of these different accounts. And I on Instagram, typically You'll get blocked if you message more than like, it's different for everybody, but like 10 to 50 people an hour. If you message more than that, you'll get blocked, you know? But think about it. If I've got 5 accounts, I can message 50 to like 100 or 200 people an hour if I'm really consistent with it. So it just makes it so that I can talk to more people faster. And guess what? We get paid to talk to people about becoming customers and distributors, right? So that was kind of my mindset. However, my best advice when it comes to this is do not get more than one Instagram until you are doing your steps to success, at least from Instagram every single month. If you're not signing up 4 customers and 3 distributors every month from Instagram, you do not need more than one. The posts I use on Instagram about my business and products are the same posts I put on Facebook, but then I just add more fun stuff to Facebook too. So pretty much the same there.
Perfect. Okay. So you said you don't do the Instagram stories yet, right? I'm going to skip that question.
Well, maybe like once a week, but I try.
Well, do you message any of the viewers if you say you put like a picture of yourself or a product or something up there? Do you message those viewers that you can see that view it?
If they message me, I do. Okay. So no.
Okay. How many people?
I message the people that are following me. I'll mention that. So the people I message on Instagram, I make sure that they're following me. I usually scroll down, not my fresh followers. I scroll down about a week or 2 and I follow those people. And then once I've messaged them, I unfollow them. So I have more room to follow more people. So that's pretty much how I go. And the nice thing about that is I just go through my followers list. I go to their profile, make sure they're not a distributor, make sure they're not some crazy person from Saudi Arabia or somewhere. And then I can message them. So that's how I message on Instagram. I don't message the likes because I feel like, I like random pictures without reading the captions too. So I just would rather message my followers, and eventually I'll get to those people that liked my photos.
Okay, perfect. Do you have like a certain amount that you like to follow every single day to be consistent?
No. That's my answer, no. But I prefer, I will go through and I will follow people. I try to do that at least 2 to 3 times a day. So however many people that ends up being, I don't know, but I try to do that 2 to 3 times a day.
Sorry, the puppy has awoken. Okay, how do you follow up with, I think we already discussed that a little bit. That stop responding, because that's about that. Okay, this one's a good one. How do you prep your team for when you're going for a promotion? So let's back it up. Let's say that you were going for diamond or double. How are you prepping those people that need to be like rubies and, a diamond or emerald or executive on your team?
All right, so this is a good question, and it goes both ways. So even if you're just pushing for like ruby, start implementing layered leadership. And what I mean by that, you're going to, like, if you're pushing for ruby, you're going to go to that person that's going to be that executive, and you're going to say like, hey, you are so close to executive. This is all you need to go executive. And then from there, that's when you can touch base with them and say like, hey, I want you to reach out to these 2 distributors underneath you. And I want you to do, message them kind of how I just messaged you and say, hey, you are so close to hitting over $400 in sales this month. And I'd love to help you do that so you can earn a really good paycheck this month. And that's going to help them start stepping out as their own leaders and talking to their team and helping them, when really, that executive is just getting that idea from you. And then you can tell that executive even like, hey, and whatever those distributors say, let me know. And I'm going to help you, coach them and lead, help you lead them. And I got this idea from Christy Christensen, and this is a cool idea too, especially, pushing for emerald or diamond where it's a little bit bigger. So as an example with emerald, you're going to go to your 2 rubies. And if you know what a ruby is, they've got their executive and then they've got 2 qualified legs. You're going to go to your ruby and you're going to say, all right, if you can get your 2 qualified legs to 400, I'm going to help your executive get their 2 qualified legs to 400. So that means that Ruby, instead of having to worry about everybody, they only have to really focus on helping those 2 people get to 400. And you're going to help that executive get their 2 people to 400. However, you're also going to reach out to that executive and you're going to say, hey, you're so close to executive. All you need is to help these 2 people get to 400, but I'm going to make you a deal. If you can help this one person get to 400, I'm going to help the other person to get to 400. So then all you need to get to executive is help that one person and make sure you're commission qualified. Then I just have to go to that one person on that entire Ruby leg and say, hey, I'm going to help you get your customers so you can get to 400 and make a paycheck this month. And if you are all doing that and working together, then you just, instead of building an entire Ruby, you're just helping one person get their volume to 400 while the other people on that chart are helping the other people get to 400. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense. Sorry, my dog totally just peed on my bed. It makes total sense. Puppy training. But yeah, I got that message in them and stuff like that. That's a really good idea, especially because, I even remember being a Ruby and being like, oh, I just got my top box to 400. And now I'm like, well, dang, this person changed their order and you're like almost there. So it really helps to even start that layered leadership just as, as a Ruby.
And then one last tip for, working on promotions, and this is something that I've always done, is I am in contact with every person on my chart every single day. Like all of the 400 people, I am in contact with them asking like, how can I help you sign up a customer today? Can I send you a sample post? Can I send you a sample message? Can I help you with like a party? Ask them how you can help them sign up customers, because in the end, think about it this way too. If, let's say you are 10 system orders away from promoting to diamond, that's about $1,000 in volume, maybe 1,100 in volume. And you're like, and that would take me all month to do it myself. But if you just helped 10 people on your team, each set up one person for the system, then you do it. So it's the compound effect of like making sure you're in contact with everybody and helping everybody, walk them through conversations, help them with that. And that's going to be how like perfect example. I've only signed up 4 customers this month myself, but my new distributor, my last distributor that I signed up a week ago, has already signed up 6 loyal customers this month. So it's almost like I've signed up 10 because I've been helping her get her customers. So I think it's really important, it's not just you setting up all these customers, it's you helping your team sign up their customers as well. And then it's less work for you and it's more rewarding for them because they're winning, like they're not going to quit if they're getting awesome results, signing up all these customers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So this leads into our last question. I know that we're almost like over an hour. I'm so sorry. But this is the last question. It sort of leads off of it. How do you train your new distributors? And do you do like a 400s club? Like, do you go ahead and like tell them, like give them a challenge, like get 4 LCs in a certain amount of hours and stuff like that?
Yeah, so my personal distributors, once they sign up, I send them a welcome message and I pretty much say like, okay, yay, so excited. I make sure they're on our team page. And then I say, your first goal is to get 4 loyal customers. I give them, I pretty much say, if you had really, really, really good news, who would be the first 5 people that you would tell? I want you to go to those people and ask them if they would be your customer. I tell them that and I say, I challenge them and I say, if you can get your first 4 customers in your first 72 hours, then I'll get you a network shirt. And I Venmo them that money. Like they find a shirt and then I'll Venmo them money. It makes it really easy because then I don't have to deal with shipping. But I love doing that because if you think about it, I'm signing somebody up and if I can help them get those 4 customers in 30 days, then I'm guaranteed a $100 fast start bonus, which is going to reimburse me if I bought them a shirt. You don't have to buy them a shirt, but then again, that's going to help grow your business too. It's an investment. Then from there, I ask them, can I send you a sample post? Nothing changes once it's a potential to a distributor. We are taught that to keep our potentials talking through the conversation, we need to ask questions at the end of our messages. And it's the same thing with our new distributors. If you don't want them to just read the message and get overwhelmed, you've got to ask them a question at the end. So that's what I do. I say, okay, yay, I'm so excited. Add me on Facebook. We'll get you on the team page. Your first goal is we want to get your 4 customers. Ask these people that you would tell good news to. Your goal is 4 customers in 72 hours. If you do it, I'll give you a prize. Do you want a sample post to put on Facebook and Instagram? I ask them. And then from there, I make sure they know that as soon as they have anyone interested, I want them to send me a screenshot of that conversation, and I'm going to walk them through what to say. Because, okay, we're going to go back to the gallery view. Now, if you remember, being a brand new distributor, please give me a thumbs up if you had a hard time figuring out what to say to people when they were interested. Yeah, we don't know what to say, right? So if you can teach your new distributors what you say to sign up loyal customers, that's going to help them sign up their customers. So I tell them, okay, once you have somebody interested, send me the screenshot and I will send you exactly what to say back so that it's super easy. And the cool thing is that when you do it this way, what's going to happen is eventually it's going to be so, they're just going to get it, like I did with charting, or with the steps to success. They're just going to get it and they're going to be like, oh, this is how I talk to somebody about becoming a customer. I've got it. And then you just have to walk them through, same thing with talking to somebody about doing a distributor. Then they're like, oh, I've got it. Same thing with blitzing. If you can take them blitzing with you, then eventually they're going to be like, oh, I got it. Same thing with parties. You do a few parties with them and all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, I know how to do a party. I don't need your help anymore. And then that's going to help them to take off and run. So the goal with your new distributors is to teach them what you do to sign up customers and distributors. And remember, we sign up customers and distributors by how we talk to people. So focus on helping your new distributors know how to talk to people. And that's going to be the biggest skill that they need to learn to be successful.
So good. I have 3 pages of notes over here. I don't know. Do you have 2 minutes to answer these questions they just chatted?
Yep.
Let's see. I don't know if you can read them too, but how do you get your team to run an auto shipment?
To run an auto shipment, I just make them know the importance. I have never not run my auto shipment. When I first started, we didn't have $150 as an option. It wasn't there. You either ran your auto shipment or you had to have over $400 in sales or you didn't get paid. Isn't that crazy? And so it was the only option to get paid pretty much, And so I've always had it. But more than this, if somebody says they can't afford to have the auto shipment, they are the people that need it the most. And here's why. Because I couldn't afford it when I first got started. But I knew that if I had that auto shipment set to 2 boxes of wraps, that I would be able to sell those wraps. By the time I got the wraps and paid for my website and paid for tax and shipping, I was maybe spending $150 a month. But I knew that if I sold those 8 wraps, which I needed to make that money back, that I was at least going to profit $50. But here's the coolest part ever. Every single person that ever tried to wrap for me, 99% of them signed up as a customer or a distributor after they tried one wrap. So if you want to know the secret to doing your steps to success every month, it's ordering 2 boxes of wraps and committing to selling those every single month, because that's 8 people that you could be wrapping. 4 customers, 4 distributors, done. So pretty much with the auto shipment, it's teaching the importance of it. If you can't afford it, great. Let me show you how you can make at least $50 every single month guaranteed. I had another tip on auto shipment. What was it? Oh, how many of you have missed a promotion by $800 or less in a month? Yeah. But here's the kicker. if you had 10 distributors on your team and all 10 of them had their ADBV auto shipment set up, boom, there's your $800 that you were missing to promote. So realize that, you know, if you want it to be easier for you to promote, number one, turn on your auto shipment so you don't have to keep your customers. Number two, teach your team to turn on their auto shipment so they don't have to keep their customers. And more importantly, it's going to help everybody promote faster because you don't have to fill in as much volume at the end of the month.
Yeah, and if you're not running yours, then your team's not running theirs either. It doesn't matter.
And I'm going to be real with you, you know, leadership and success starts with you. And so, you know, to me, if you want to work your business with integrity, but you also want your team to run auto shipments, that means that you have to do it. And if you're not running an auto shipment, then what kind of example are you setting for your team? You're showing your team like, hey, like it's not important. It's not a priority to get paid. But I literally last year had a double diamond on my team miss a $5,000 paycheck because she forgot to turn it on. Sorry, like, I'm not helping you there. What am I supposed to do, you know? So don't let that be you.
Let's see. Okay, I think that's everything except for this last one. But the last one was how can you get, you know, your team to participate like in events and trainings and stuff. But I feel like you can't really force them, but
all right. So all right, here's going to be a really good example. Okay, I got to go back to this gallery view to prove a point too. So give me a thumbs up if you have ever had a friend post something on Facebook that you didn't see. They later asked you if you saw it and you said no. Give me a thumbs up if that's ever happened. Or they're like, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. And you're like, what? You're pregnant? And you're like, yeah, I posted it on Facebook. And you're like, well, I didn't see. This is just an example. But people don't always see posts on Facebook. So if you're just posting in your team page about conference or about a training or about a conference call or about a wrap party or about a 1-2-1 mission, chances are there's a lot of your team that's not seeing it. So if you really want to make a big turnout, guess what? We get paid to have conversations with people, and we still get paid to have conversations with our distributors. Make a personal connection with them and say, you know, send messages and say, hey, Audrey, it would mean so much to me if I could go with you to this 1-2-1 mission. Like, I really feel like if we go together, it's going to completely change our business. Do you want to go with me? Done. Like, that's going to make Audrey feel really good. And that's going to, you know, chances are you're going to be able to get them to go with you. Same thing, like, that's another really good tip to get people to wrap parties. Individually messaging them and just asking them, you know. So if you want more people to show up, individually invite them to show up. Because, you know, and this is a really good tip. This is going to help you for customer potentials and signed customers and signed distributors. Every single person you meet has a sign around their neck that says, make me feel important. And if you can remember that, you know, that's all you've got to remember. So as you're messaging your distributors, make them feel important, make them feel valued. Hey, Audrey, like, you are such a big part of our team, and we would not feel complete without you unless you hopped on this Zoom with us tonight. Can you hop on? Do you have a free few minutes to hop on? You know, I mean, just be personal with them and make sure they know how valued they are. You know, people will work for a paycheck, but they'll die for recognition and they'll die for value. So put that value in them and they'll never leave.
Oh, that was so good. That is like the perfect note to end on. Thank you so much for doing this. Do you have any last minute things you want to say before I click off here? I recorded it, guys, just so y'all know. So we'll post it in the team page.
Yeah, so this is something I shared on another Zoom that I did, I don't remember when, sometime this week. And no, it was a live video, just kidding, it wasn't a Zoom. But, you know, sometimes in this business or even in life, it can be so hard to not compare ourselves to other people. You know, we watch other people get the car we want before we get it, or we watch other people that bounce back after a pregnancy and we're like, what's wrong with me? We watch other people promote so fast in this business and sign up customers like crazy and we're like, what's wrong with me? We watch other people that just get 500 bajillion thousand likes on social media and we're like, man, nobody must like me. Comparison is so hard. And so the message I would just want to leave with you guys is I want you to know that no matter who you're looking at, wishing you were, wishing you could be like them, or wishing your story was like theirs, God does not love you any less than he loves them. And if he loves them and you just as much, there's no way that he is not going to help you have the same amount of success, if not more.
That's really good. You're right, me tear up. Oh, this is really good. This has been helpful so much. I know my team is just so happy that you were able to do this for us. But I think that is everything. Will it record on my end? Am I able to say that?
I think so. If not, I'll post it to my YouTube, but I think it should record on your computer. But
okay.
Oh, and one last thing. You are never going to get where you want to be unless you change something. If you don't do something different, nothing's going to be different. So make sure that the biggest aha moment that you took out of tonight, that you don't just have an aha moment, do something about it. Make the commitment that whatever it is that stuck out to you, that you're going to make that change that you need to take your business to that next level. And if you do that, in every single training that you show up to, you're just going to get better and better and better until you reach your goals.
Yes, that's so good. Can we take a quick picture?
Yes, let me get my lighting better.
And by that, can I mean somebody take it? Because I've lost my phone somewhere in this room.
I can probably, hold on, I got to unplug my phone.
It's my favorite part. I love watching everybody just get all ready.
That's the funnest part. Oh, my bed is messy. You can see it in the background. Hold on.
I'm behind this.
Did somebody get another one besides me too? Okay, cool. We did. We're good.
We'll get one of them. Well, I think that's everything, but thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. I just know like I can hear my phone's somewhere in here. I can hear it going off because I know about how good it is. So thank you so much. And team, we'll do a post, but just what your aha moment is, and just share the recording with your team when I post it, individually, like we just did. So that'll be really good. But thank you so much, Jocelyn. And that's everything, guys. Have a good night.
Okay, good night, guys.